welcome to this first for us, our kindergarten information night via Zoom. I'm Beth Larson. I'm principal of Rooney Ranch. I've been principal here for the past 8 years. I hope you've had an opportunity to watch our video on our website where we took you on a tour of the school, so you could at least get a feel for what the school looks like, since we can't actually tour you right now. We have an extremely active community. We have a wonderful PTA that's supportive, and just community members that we love to have in the building. In a normal year, we have lots of parents in and out. We have watchdog dads. We have parents volunteering. This year is just not that normal year, and we all know that. But as the teachers talk to you, they are going to talk to you in the hopes that when you all come, or if you decide to come to Rooney, we are having what we call a normal year again, and we don't wear masks, and we don't have to worry about all these things that we're all worried about right now, because we truly believe it will be going away eventually. Welcome. We're so excited to have you all here, and I will turn this over to Amy Eicherman, and she is one of our 4 kindergarten teachers. So Amy, take it away.
Good evening, everybody. I'm proud of myself. I remember to unmute myself. So my name is Amy Eicherman, and this is my 5th year teaching at Rooney, but I joined the Rooney family way back 16 years ago. And that makes me feel really old saying that. But I sent my now 20-year-old twins to kindergarten here at Rooney Ranch, and 2 years later, my youngest son. So I know how many of you are feeling right now. I think I have the best job in the world being a kindergarten teacher, but particularly at Rooney Ranch, as Mrs. Larson mentioned, our community is fantastic, and my teammates, who I love and admire, are wonderful women to work with, and as are the other staff at Rooney. So I am going to be talking about the literacy block part of our day, and specifically reading. So to start off, we have a new phonics-based spelling and reading program called Really Great Reading, and students and teachers alike are loving it. The lessons are presented on our smartboard, and there's cute little pictures and animations, and kids get to use their own manipulatives like little letter tiles and magnetic boards. So they think that's really cool that they get their own things to learn with, and it keeps them really engaged. So we're really liking that one. So in addition to the phonics-based program, we also have what we call reading workshop. And our goal as kindergarten teachers is to really instill the love of reading with our kids. And we have lots of ways to do that. One of the things we have is called word work. And in that, kids use fun, and we provide them like engaging games and activities to practice things like rhyming and spelling, retelling, and things like that. Another thing kids can do is called listening to read, where they listen to books on iPads, and that gives them an opportunity to hear what a fluent reader sounds like. And then the final thing I was going to talk about is our small reading groups. So we have groups, it can be anywhere from 2 to 5 kiddos that we work with, and this gives us a opportunity to differentiate instruction. So we use leveled text in those small groups. So as you can tell, we have lots of tools in our toolbox to keep our kiddos engaged and ensure that love of reading. So that's my presentation. Thank you.
I'm also a kindergarten teacher here at Rooney Ranch. This year, I am the remote kindergarten teacher at Rooney Ranch. I've been teaching at Rooney Ranch for 6 years. My first year was in 1st grade. My last 5 have been in kindergarten. This is my 2nd career. My first career was in nonprofit fundraising and development for 10 years. And then I went back and got my master's from the University of Denver in education, and then started teaching at Rooney Ranch at the beginning of my teaching career. I too am a JEFCO student. I graduated from Chatfield High School many years ago. many, many years ago. And I have 5 children who either have gone through or are still in the Jeffco system. So my oldest is 22 and my youngest is 9. So to continue on what Ms. Eicherman said, in our literacy block, we also work on writing. In writing, we start with handwriting, teaching our students to correctly form those upper and lowercase letters. We also use authors as mentors and read a lot of mentor texts to show our young writers what authors and illustrators should look like and sound like. We encourage them to draw detailed pictures, label their pictures, and begin writing sentences. Writing is a very individual base. We meet the students where they are individually. So some students may just be using temporary spelling and writing the first sounds in words when they begin kindergarten. Others may actually be able to write whole CVC words or whole sentences. So we really meet your child where they are and grow them from there. And so writing is what finishes off our literacy block. I'm going to now turn it over to Jennifer Cook, who will talk about our math workshop.
Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Jennifer Cook, and I also am one of the kindergarten teachers. Like Mrs. Fox, I am a Jeffco grad, so I added up all the years that I've been in Jefferson County, and I have been in Jefferson County for 41 years. Luckily, not all of those teaching, but I have been teaching in Jefferson County for 28 years, 17 of those years at Rooney Ranch. And that's what you're going to find with most of the teachers at Rooney. Once we're here, we don't want to go anyplace else. It's just the best place to be. And actually, I'm pretty lucky because my husband actually joined the Rooney family last year. He works with our second language students. And so I get to see him at school each day and at home and on weekends and lots. My children also went to Rooney Ranch. I actually chose to open enroll them at Rooney just because of the comfort level and knowing how amazing the teachers are. And so both of my children went through Rooney. One is now at Dunston and one is at Green Mountain High School. So that's kind of interesting having a high school student this year, especially with this remote learning. And you will find us on the baseball diamond, the soccer field, and the basketball court when we are not at school. Kind of a busy family with those young children that we have. I am going to talk about the math block of our day. And we really try to make math a play-based math program. We do have a math resource that we use called Math Expressions, which helps us with some of our activities, but really what we do is we have these tubs. And in those tubs, we have all sorts of different games, but they're learning games, but the students love playing these games. They might be rolling dice to help them add. They may be working on 2D and 3D shapes. They might be circling a group of stickers to help them figure out their teen numbers. So it's a fun time of our day. The students, a lot of them, math is their favorite part of the day. Some of the things we work on are counting forwards and backwards. Some students come in knowing how to count up to 100. Some know how to count up to 10 or 20. And so we really differentiate during math too. We work on adding and subtracting up to 10. And we end our year with measurement, using standard and non-standard forms of measurement. So that's kind of our chunk of math that we do. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Quinn, who will talk to you about how we end our day.
And I know Mrs. Cook said that math was fun, but I get to talk about the favorite part of the day. So good evening, everybody. My name's Beth Quinn. I am a parent and a teacher at Rooney Ranch. I started though back in Indiana. I am a Hoosier, and I graduated with my undergrad from IU. I moved here, did event planning for a little while, and then knew that my passion was in the classroom with kids. So I went to Metro to finish up some classes to get my teaching certification. And then I went to Regis to get my master's. I have been a Jeffco teacher since 2002, so that puts me at 18 years. I have taught at Little Elementary, which is just up north a little ways. I've taught at Red Rocks Elementary, and I was trying to count it up, and I think this is my 6th year at Rooney Ranch as a teacher. I have 3 daughters. My oldest is at the high school, at Green Mountain High School, and has recently started driving, and that's a frightening thing. I have another daughter, my middle child, who is an 8th grader at Dunston. And then my youngest is a 5th grader at Rooney Ranch. So my heartstrings are really pulling because I've been at school with my kids for 6 years, and this is going to be it for me. So I'm pretty sad to let go. But my husband and I, he is from here. He is a local. He is a Green Mountain High grad as well. So if any of you are from the area and you run into him, you'll probably recognize him, and the world will just shrink a little bit more. And then if you live in the area, you might see me out and about. I love running. I run all the time, and it's just something that I can do to just, get some fresh air, pull my thoughts together, and make myself better for my family and for my work. So I am talking about the last 2 parts of our day, which are, according to the kids, their favorite part of the day. So that includes purposeful play. And purposeful play is about 30 minutes of our day, and it's guided play. It is an opportunity for the kids to share, to take turns. They have choice at what they do each day. Some of the choices they might they might play with wood blocks, they might play with tinker toys, they might play in the kitchen, they could do dress up. We have Osmo that the kids love to play with. And those are just a couple of the purposeful play options we have. And then, of course, kids love to go to specials. So we are so lucky at Rooney that we have 3 specials. We do have art, we have music, and we have PE for 45 minutes. We are on a 3-day rotation with the licensed teachers who teach, K-5 throughout the building. So it's great to build those relationships young and can carry those out. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that we do go to the library every week. It's not part of our specials rotation, but Mrs. Shealy is on the Zoom meeting with us today, and she teaches us, so much about the library, but about being a digital citizen. And in today's day and age, that is so important, and has just been such a great helper as we navigate this school year. I'm going to turn it back over to Mrs. Cook so she can fill out or help with the next part of our presentation.
Well, and normally we have you in, you're sitting out in an audience and we're up talking to you. And we, Mrs. Fox, Mrs. Quinn, and Mrs. Eicherman, we feel like we have a claim to fame in all of Jeffco. So our claim to fame, when you meet us, you'll understand this. We think we are we are the tallest kindergarten teachers collectively in Jefferson County. So when you meet us, you'll understand that. But we like to add that in. On our website, you're going to find a link that talks about what we feel like kindergartners should know coming into kindergarten. I'm not going to read all of these. Hey, Jeff, would you turn the light on for me? I don't think I can read this. It's kind of dark in my house. So on this list, it's listed the top 10 things every kindergartner should know before entering kindergarten. And at the bottom, it talks about what social things they should be able to do. So a few examples of this might be, they need to be able to say what their first and last name is. They need to know how to write their first name. They need to be able to rhyme words. Maybe sequence a simple story, like what happened first, next, and last. Preschool teaches a lot of uppercase letters, so they need to be able to name most of their uppercase letters and some of their lowercase letters. If they know all of those, it's just more of a bonus for them. If they don't know those, then they'll learn them in kindergarten. But we like to have them coming in with kind of that base knowledge. A few social things that we feel are important. They need to be able to take on and off their coats, zip up their coats, button their coats. They might not be able to tie their shoes yet. We'll work on that in kindergarten. You'll work on that their kindergarten year. They need to be able to sit and listen to a story for 5 to 10 minutes. They need to be able to share materials and items, like during purposeful play with other friends. They need to be able to, and this is a biggie. I still think some of my middle school and high school students struggle with this, being able to follow 2 and 3 step directions. So brush your teeth, get your coat, and get in the car. I mean, 3-step directions. Sounds simple, it's not. So that would be something you could start working on now. Another thing is, something that I hadn't thought about before was start thinking about having children be able to open up their own Lunchables, be able to open up their own Tupperware, be able to put a straw in their Capri Sun. Those are skills that we don't think about. We just automatically do as moms and dads. But in kindergarten, they need to be able to do some of those things independently. So if you'll look on our website, you'll see more of those items listed. So now we're going to turn it over to Mrs. Cheryl, who is our secretary at Rooney Ranch, and she is going to talk to you about choice enrollment now.
Hi, everybody. I was just going to say, most of you have probably already done this, but if you have not, the steps to enrollment: first, create a Jeffco Connect account. So just get on Jeffco Connect, create an account with your information and your students' information, and then you'll use those same credentials, so the same username and password that you use to create a Jeffco Connect account. You'll go to Enroll Jeffco, and that's where you will state that you would like your child to come to Rooney Ranch. So if it's your neighborhood school, great, then you have a guaranteed spot. If it's not your neighborhood school, then you put in as a choice, and you will get an offer, if we can give choice offers, the end of January. And then following that, whether you are in our neighborhood or you're trying to choice in, we will ask you to bring in a birth certificate, a proof of address, and a copy of your immunization record, your child's immunization record. And I don't know exactly the dates that we're going to ask for that yet. I'm trying to kind of wait and see what things are like in the world in the spring. Hopefully we can have you come in person and bring that in. So just keep an eye on our website for those dates. If you get an offer, if you're trying to choice into Rooney Ranch and you get an offer, you have 3 days to accept that offer. If you don't accept that offer in 3 days, it just moves on to the next person, and it's complete lottery system. So we have no say in who gets an offer and who doesn't. We tell the district how many offers we can give, and then they put those to the people randomly. So we don't have a say in any of that. I think that's about it. Anything else, Beth? Nope. You can always call if you have questions regarding registration or if you're having any issues. There were some issues on Jeffco Connect as well as Enroll Jeffco Tuesday. They seem to have worked those kinks out, but if you have any problems or any issues or you forget your password or anything like that, feel free to call the school and leave a message. I'm checking voicemail frequently throughout the day and I will call you back. Thanks.
So at this point, I'm sure some of you might have some questions. So you can go ahead and put them in the chat. And our coach, Angela Finke, Angela, you can wave. Angela will be reading the questions and our team will answer them. So please feel free to ask anything that we haven't covered or anything you're curious about, because like we said, this is not a normal situation.
Okay, great. Our first question is, do you have buddies or student-to-student mentors?
Hi. So we do have that program at Rooney. This last year, obviously, we haven't been able to do that, but usually we do. We have our kindergartners matched up with fifth graders, and then first graders matched up with fourth graders, and then second graders matched up with third graders. And about once a month, those kiddos, the two different classes get together and they do an activity together. I know in third grade, the third graders will come to kindergarten and read stories that they have written, and the kindergartners love that, and that gives the third graders an opportunity to read their writing out loud and to share their writing. So that's something that the kids love, and it gets to the point where if a little kindergartner or first grader sees their buddy out on the playground, they get so excited because they think it's really cool to have someone who's older than them in the building know who they are. So it makes them feel really special and important. So I'm sure that'll be up and running next year. Well, not sure, but fingers crossed.
Great. Next question is, what is the average class size?
So this year we are all averaging about 18 in our classes, 18 to 19. I would say that's not a normal year due to the pandemic. I think our numbers are a little bit low right now, but a typical year is between 20 to 23 is our average class size.
Do you have any social emotional programming?
We do. We one of the things that we have Miss. My kids call her Miss Julia. I hope I pronounced her last name right, Miss Heinrichs. She comes in. She's our cell teacher, and she comes in and works with students once a week. And she talks to the students. She has a program that she follows. The kids love having her come in. She's got different characters. She uses books. It's a great time of the day. We do it once a week with her. But in kindergarten, our whole first 3-4 weeks, really, we really address that through mentor texts, through different activities. And then really we do a lot of activities throughout the year that address the social emotional piece of school. We also have Mr. Mattis at our school, and he is our psychologist. So he also will work with small groups of kids or kids one-on-one when we feel there's a need and a parent has requested it.
The next question is, do we need to buy a Chromebook for them?
I'm more than happy to answer this question, although with Mrs. Shealy here, if I say something wrong, I know you can help fix that for me. You do not need to buy a Chromebook for your student. Jefferson County has a program where they provide Chromebooks for all 5th graders and 8th graders. And so the idea for that is that when your child goes into 5th grade, they'll have that Chromebook for 5th, 6th, 7th. They'll get a new one for 8th grade and then have that Chromebook for the remainder of school. we are so blessed at Rooney Ranch that our community has bought iPads for our PTA, has bought iPads for all the students, or Chromebooks, excuse me, Chromebooks for every student. So we are a one-to-one school. In kindergarten, we do not have Chromebooks. We use iPads. And we are one-to-one with iPads. Mrs. Fox, with her being remote this year, her class has Chromebooks. But yeah, the rest of us have iPads, and there is not a fee for that to buy.
Great. The next question is, do you offer any Spanish classes?
Well, don't we have I believe we have an after school program for
I
that?
was just going to
No.
chime in with that because
Yeah.
it's more of an extracurricular. It's been before school and after school. It's something that families can join and pay for, and it's a couple month class time frame. So that's one of the extracurricular activities that's offered. is Spanish.
Holly, that's another question, just a little
Oh.
ways down, is can you just elaborate on after school activities and clubs?
Oh, sure. So in the past, we've done science, we've done cooking, we've done different art clubs, we've done running clubs after school, we've done drama, acting, Spanish we talked about. We have all sorts, we've done chess club, that was before school. So we do some before school and some after, depending on what the instructor offers and what the need or requests are from parents. So yeah, we have a really great extracurricular programs throughout the year.
And then Holly, one more for you. Can you explain before and after school programming?
Oh, sure. That's offered through the City of Lakewood. And so you register through the City of Lakewood. They open registration in August and it fills up rather quickly. So we always encourage families to register just as soon as it opens. And they use our gym and our dining room and our playground. So it's really nice. They don't have to go to another facility. They stay at our school. And yes, it's through the City of Lakewood. And we will when you bring your paperwork in, I have some information on for anyone that's interested that I can give you.
Another question is, what are the school start and end times? I'll take that one. The first bell is at 8:20 to 8:30 is a soft start where kids are coming in kind of doing morning activities. And then 8:30 would actually is the final bell. That's when we would actually count a kiddo tardy if they come in after 8:30. And then the afternoon bell rings at 3:10. The next question is, how does the school approach bullying?
I'm happy to address that. We have lots of things in place to try to prevent it. So I think right now, the biggest thing, if there is a bullying situation, we would use a restorative justice approach. So it's an RJ conversation where we try to facilitate a conversation between the people that this was occurring with. But before it gets to that, we're a PBIS school, so it's a positive behavior support. And so we try to do a lot of incentives to make sure kids are doing the right things. And we've had great success with that. And like Mrs. Cook talked about, our CEL teacher, which is our social emotional learning specialist, Julia Hendricks, she does lessons with classes and she uses Second Step. Second Step is an anti-bullying curriculum. So she works kids through that as well. You know, and we try to approach each situation individually. So, you know, because no two situations like this are alike. And so we approach them individually. And then our psychologist, Mr. Mattis, is great at facilitating these restorative justice conferences. So we have lots of tools for bullying situations when they do occur.
Great. Our next question is, how do you approach children who may be identified as having a special learning need?
I can take that. We have a SPED department. We have 1.5 teachers who meet those students based on their either 504 or IEP requirements. So if you have a student who already has that information, that is probably, Mrs. Cheryl, something they need to share with you at registration. If your student is not identified at this time, that is usually something that you and your teacher would work with, and it would be based in assessments and data and any other observations that you guys see at home and that we would see in the classroom. With that said, we do differentiate all of our learning in all of our core content areas, and we do try to meet all of our students where they are and then grow and support them where they are at that time and grow from there.
How and how often do parents communicate with their child's teacher?
That's a great question. I feel like we communicate, especially in kindergarten. You might get tired of us emailing you. But we are available after school, usually to talk. We have Friday folders that go home each week. We send a weekly newsletter home, typically on Fridays. We have conferences twice a year, but we also have an open door policy. If there is an issue or anything you want to share with us, you can email us. We can set up a time to have you come in and talk. We can talk over the phone, whatever you feel comfortable with. But we really want this to be a partnership between the school and family so that you feel comfortable. We feel like we know your child and know what works, what doesn't work. So any way that you need to communicate with us, we will work with.
The next question is, how do you approach standardized testing and how does the school perform? I'm happy to answer this too, if you want me to. Okay, so standardized testing in kindergarten looks a little different than other grades, but kindergarteners do take the DIBELS assessment, which is a phonemic awareness and phonics assessment that's given one-on-one in the fall, winter, and spring. And I would say our approach to it is taking that information as a snapshot of a kiddo and part of their body of evidence. It's not the end-all be-all of who that kid is as a learner or what their strengths or weaknesses are. But we also take it seriously and use that information to help guide instruction, kind of like Mrs. Fox was saying, in collaboration with our other observations and other data points. And overall, in other standardized tests, like the CMAS assessment that our 3rd through 5th graders do or take, we perform very well. And I think across the board, in all grades, we try to use that information to identify student strengths and areas of growth. Holly, this might be a question for you. How old do they have to be to ride the bus, and do they get escorted to class?
There's no age restriction for riding the bus. Kindergarten through 5th graders can ride the bus. And just so you know, if your kindergartner is going to ride the bus, we do usually try to have 5th graders that are riding the same bus as your kindergartner for the first couple weeks of school. They'll go to their classrooms and escort them to the bus in the afternoons so they can find their way. They know which bus to ride. And we do have animals that are associated with each bus. So we have the zebra and the alligator and the lion. I think that's it. Giraffe, maybe, I don't remember. But so that's helpful for kids too, to remember, oh yeah, I go on the alligator bus and here's the sign for the alligator bus. What was the other part of the question? Is there age restriction?
No, I think you got it.
Good.
Yep, age restriction and being escorted.
Great.
Do kindergartners have homework? If so, how much time do they spend on homework?
I'll take that one. And you guys, we have hours and hours of homework every night. I'm just kidding. Sorry. It just feels so weird to talk with no auditory background. We don't have homework in kindergarten, sort of. When we start having reading groups, and we will read with our kids with your kids at school every day, and we will send that book home each night so that you can practice reading with your child. We understand that, you know, a book comes home Monday and everybody is so excited to read this book, and by Thursday you're still reading this same book. And but we do that on purpose because it just helps build those sight words. It helps build fluency. It helps boost their confidence as a reader. Every now and then we might send something home that did not get done in class, but that is very rare that will ever happen. So as far as homework in kindergarten, it's just reading. And I did want to add one thing to your bus. We are the farthest from where the buses are. So that is kind of silly that the littlest people are the farthest away, but everybody is well aware of that, and everybody keeps a lookout for our little kindergartners. So we take really, I think we're very cautious about them getting to the bus, from the bus to the class. So
can I pop in about homework? So for kindergartners, they start the school year checking out one library book. And then by the time we head to winter break, we are sending 2 library books home. So really at Rooney, we are trying to instill that love of reading. And we know that's going to carry them so far in everything that they do academically, whether it's reading a math word problem or, you know, researching something for science. So really in kindergarten, just reading every night and just making that part of your like bedtime routine, and the, you know, what you do as a family as we read before we go to bed. I'm sure you're already doing that with your child, but really when you think about homework is just continuing that love for reading and what you do as a family to encourage that reading.
Great. Does the school have any type of programming or resources to introduce students to diverse backgrounds and perspectives?
We have lots of different resources, and I think when teachers are planning lessons, we try to look at it through that equity lens of different cultures and such. We do have a department that we do work with within Jeffco to help us with some of that. But as far as resources, we have resources in the building, and it's just a matter of when teachers are planning units to be able to pull those resources in to help with the units that they're planning. But we're taking a good hard look at that just because it's such a hot topic and it's so important for our kiddos to all understand.
Is there a fee for full day kindergarten? Not anymore, right? What is the racial makeup of the school?
We should be getting updated information too based on our October 1st count. We just haven't gotten it out from the district to the schools quite yet, but it's also available on the Jefferson County website as well. I can tell you that last year, as far as the racial makeup goes, it is, you know, it's low, but we also have a low free and reduced lunches. We were last year at 7%, but I don't know. Like I said, we don't have that information from the October count this year yet.
a normal school, is school lunch offered? Yes, it is. It is, and depending if if you qualify for free or reduced lunch, that would impact cost of lunch.
And I just kind of wanted to piggyback on that also. We have a paraprofessional that's in our classroom for 5 hours during the day. And our paraprofessionals will go to the dining room with our kiddos and help them get through the lunch line, help them scan their barcode, help them with a lot. They really do. And it's just a great bonding time for the kids and the paraprofessionals also.
Are there any opportunities for parents/grandparents to come into the classroom and help?
I'll take that. Yes, there are many opportunities for that. Mrs. Larson had mentioned before about Watchdogs, and this is a program that we're very proud of at Rooney. And this is an opportunity for dads, uncles, grandparents to come in. They sign up for a specific date. They come in and they kind of do whatever we ask them to do. Part of their day would be spending some time with their kiddo in the classroom, but other parts of the day is they're out on the playground helping the paras out there playing with the kids. They, gosh, I've seen lots of Watchdogs cutting things out for teachers, things like that, and they just dive right in and they do whatever we ask of them. And of course, they get to eat lunch and be out on the playground with their kiddo. Other opportunities, we are lots of volunteer opportunities at Rooney, and between oh my gosh, there's PTA, staff appreciation, which is a remarkable group that we have at Rooney. The teachers welcome volunteers to come in. You can sign up for a specific time to come in. You can work with small groups of kids, things like that. So I would say there's lots of opportunities to come into our school, and we welcome that.
Do the kindergartners take field trips?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
so we
do.
usually take 2 field trips a year. We usually have one in the fall and one in the spring. Some examples of our field trips in the fall have been, we've gone out to a farm and we've gotten to be able to pick our own vegetables and kind of harvest some of our food and bring it home for all of our families to enjoy. We've also been able to go to the Arvada Center to see plays like Frog and Toad, which have been great. And then usually in the springtime, we go to the zoo as we're doing nonfiction discovery in our writing program, and we connect the animals that we research in the classroom to the animals that we get to see at the zoo. So there's usually 2 opportunities for us.
We appreciate your time this evening. We know that it was, not like it normally is, and hopefully we'll be back to some sense of normalcy by next August. It's been a tough year for everybody, families, kids, teachers, but we're getting through, and our teachers are doing it with a smile. And so we do appreciate you joining us so you could get some information. But please, as things come up and you have questions, please feel free to reach out, and we will get everything answered for you. So thank you and have a great evening.